All right. Let me remove some stuff out of my computer because I don't need them anymore. We might be good to go. All right. I think that's it. Cool. All right, then, guys. Welcome to the stream. Or if you're watching this later on when it gets uploaded, welcome to the video. Today we'll be continue working on Edenville here. Gonna continue finishing up with this avatar creation, and if I'm able to finish that, we can go into like quest manager sort of thing that we can do, so that can be, you can be able to create quests, be given quests, or you're able to do stuff in here. Yeah, that's basically the plan. But yeah, welcome, guys. If you guys are new here, this is JoJo Dev. I work on demos and do devlogs in here, so that's what I do here. Today we were working on Edenville. So let me show you what I had. We were working in the last stream. We ended up adding sliders into the avatar creation, and after the stream, maybe the day after, I ended up adding an actual color picker and see if that actually ended up looking better or not. Yeah, I don't dislike it, right? So I ended up having this color picker. Before it had like 3 different sliders, one for the red, one for blue, and one for green. And I don't dislike this part because it gives you more options and more variations on how you want to actually get the colors, right? I can go more in depth, maybe more smoother map instead, and see if that actually be better off. I guess I'll have to test it out and see how that feels like, right? So I can basically select anything here, any colors, and for right now I'm doing the pants, right? So it can be green, any type of color green that you can have. It could be blue. Anywhere I click on this map, it will change it to that color. I actually gotta make it sure it doesn't change it to this color. That's interesting. I didn't take account for that. But I gotta make sure fix that bug. I'll make sure that only does it when there's actual color in it. And that could be for the pants, for the shoes. You want to change the colors for the shoes. Same thing for the arms, By arms, I mean basically the skin in the arms. We can change the shirt color as well, whatever shirt you're gonna be having. Head, basically the skin on your head if you want a different color skin. Hair color as well. Right? We got the eye colors. You want to have some certain eye color in here. And then facial hair. This guy doesn't have any facial hair. He doesn't have a mustache or a beard or anything, but this is what this will do if he had a beard or whatever. And they have these other options which they're not working at the moment. Once I have like a female character, it will be here, either be a male or a female. And then the different varieties and hairs that you may have in this, that you may be able to choose. So this will give you the different presets. Not would I say presets? But each individual value will change the hair to a different type of hair type, right? And same thing for pants, different varieties of pants you may have, and same thing for the shirt. This is what these sliders will be doing. And that's basically it. That's all I did. I've been done since. And the goal today is to save this information so that when you load into the game, it's able to read it, and you'll be coming in with this character with the colors and whatever you ended up choosing with. So I actually have to show you the kind of like the layout that I want this to look like. So not like 100%, but this will be the user data. This is where majority of the object or the user information is going to be at. And within that user data, you can have another one that evolves about avatar information. And this is where you can have all the colors and all that, right? For the head color, hand color, eye color, and for hair, the type of hair, which will either be the path of the UID of the sprite, and then the color of that. And the same thing with the top, the pants, shoes, and facial hair. So at least that's the plan on how I want this to be laid out. I think so. All right, so let's look into the code. It doesn't need to be in C++ or anything. It can be done in GD script. I just gotta figure out where I want to have this. So I may be thinking of creating another GD script, which will create the avatar manager, and this manager will have the player information and every other NPCs that are set, because there's certain NPCs that are going to be defined the same way at all times, right? So either if that's the fisherman, the doctor, all of that, they have presets on how they always going to look like at all times. So that's where all the information is going to be stored in. So let's look into here and figure out where we want to have that. So I know where is my game manager? So this is where we load the data. So we're able to retrieve the information eventually. But then we have information where we save the data. So we save it in here. And then also in splash screen, that's where it sets up the initial player character and saves the initial save data. Where is the splash screen? Got so much stuff in here that I probably should delete out of the way. Cool. So here in save data, we got the world seed, we got all of this stuff in here. And then we have the user data, which I was talking about, which has the player name, money, all the inventory, all the items that this player is going to have initially. For right now, I think I can also put the avatar layout in here. The question is, how do I grab the avatar data from? So I think this is where I'm going to be doing it for sure. let's see. Avatar creator. This is where all the information is going to be at. I may have like a gathering here some way, or keep track of all of this stuff. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep it like a dictionary here. I'll keep track of all the information that I need when it comes to whatever I'm saving. I got the current sprite. I do have an index. Now, depending on the category drop down, that will give me the actual body, arms, and facial hair. I wonder if I'm able to get the name of body, because right now body is an integer, right? So it gives you if it body is equal 0, but can you actually get the name of this body instead of the integer? If not, I may have to create another, maybe like another array here that will be like avatar parts that will be in the same index as the top one. So you could say var, or it could also be const. Okay. Const var, and you just call it avatar. Avatar parts. Actually, should be avatar part names. I'll probably be better off. And it'll be an array of string. Which, can you do that on top, or can you not do that on top? Expected a name after the const. I guess, oh, you don't need the bar then, right? All right, so in here will probably be the names of how I have it laid out in here. So it'll be hair, top, pants, shoes, facial hair. I actually don't even need body, by the way, but I'll just leave it like that for now. So let's do this body. We'll do pants. I have bottoms on top, but it should be pants. We can put do shoes. Is it should I put shoes or shoe? Because they're both the same. Yeah, I guess we can do shoes. We got arms. At the top, or should it be shirt? I'm thinking it's gonna be shirt. We got the head. Hold on. My mic is getting in the way of me typing right now. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm so sorry for that. I need a new mic setup ASAP. A new mic setup ASAP. Alright, so we have head. We got hair. Eyes. And we'll just do facial hair here. Cool. So that's what I want to lay it out as. And in here, we can have a dictionary. Avatar. Selection, I guess. It's just basically going to be as a dictionary. Right, so every time we're setting a part in here, or we're setting the sprite, hold on, let me see how am I going to do it. We change the avatar color. We call this function, which sets the color of that and sets it here. But how do we set the index? I guess I got to keep track of the index, which I didn't wasn't keeping track of before. So I gotta keep track of the index so that when I call it in here, I know what color I'm resetting it to. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So keeping track of that index. Let's put it down below. Say current avatar part index, and it's just gonna be an int. And we can set it to -1 for now. And then once we set the sprites, it's gonna be there. We set the index in here. That's how we're going to be setting that index. We initially set it at 0, which is fine. That's exactly what I want it to be. So we go here, and then once we set this color, we want to go into, let's say, we can create an object here, avatar part. Which is another dictionary, and here an avatar part. Here is going to be the color, and I guess we'll just set it as color instead, and then we go into avatar selection. We'll get the avatar names of that selection index. Or what we kept, avatar selection or current avatar part index, and we'll set that to the avatar part. Right. So depending on the part that we're on, either if it's going to be a body, pants, shoes, it's going to have an object for that in the avatar selection, and we'll set it that with the color that's in here. Another thing we got to keep track, which we're not keeping track of, it will be the sliders, so what hair type it's going to be. So that's another thing that I'm going to have to keep track of. That's probably the only, another thing we can do here instead is maybe just saying color instead. Because I don't want to replace the part of the hair type or the pants type. I don't want to replace it because it's going to replace it. So maybe instead I'll do this and just pass in the color instead of doing the top part. I might have to have a default initialization for these guys. Can we initialize it in here? And so in here we can probably do the same layout that we have here, and we have it by default where exactly the default sprites are going to be. So I may end up transferring that over in a bit, but let me just finish the logic that I have in here, and that should be good to go. This avatar creator, I don't remember. I should be able to have access to this, right? Hold on. We have the splash screen. We go through all of this stuff. Yeah, I should be able to have access to the splash creator. So we can have it on top of here. I just say on ready. Bar. Avatar. Creator. Actually, I don't have a name for it though. And I think it's just a control node right now. Wait, hold on. I should have a name for it. No, did I not have a name for it? Could be avatar creator. I have no problems with that. Yeah, we do a class name avatar creator here. And then we'll use that to go into the splash screen. we'll do that. And in here, we will find that panel, new game panel. And you have the script somewhere. Oh, there it is. I see it right here. So in here, I just forget what button is the one that I need to do in order to do this. Oh, there we go. Sweet. I think we need to do all of that. Our avatar creation. So this is where it comes in. Okay, I don't remember putting that in here. Okay. And in the save area, we'll do it in here where should it be this one or the other one? Yeah, it should be this one here. So in here, like I said before, it's going to be the avatar data. And we can easily just say, what was the name of that we named it? My game manager. Let's go back. I named it avatar selection here. Oh, that needs that. We can go in here and get that. Sweets. Exactly what I wanted. Yeah, I think that should do it. I'll have to test it, of course, to make sure that it's actually working. And go to game manager real quick. No, not game manager. Splash screen again. And in here, I would like to. I don't know if I printed it out already, but it would be great if I can print it out. Or just print out the user data and see how that looks like and if it looks correct or not. So we'll save that. It's not in a current scope. It's probably just gonna take a bit because I just changed the name of it right now. So that might take a little bit to change. Let's see, debug, projects, settings. I don't think I have a global with this. I shouldn't be having a global avatar creation. I remember adding something recently. I don't remember what it was. It might have been the A-star grid. Okay. Cool. Alright. One thing I definitely want to check is making sure that this is good to go. Making sure there's actually coloring here. Or, how do I say it's... I mean, this says if mouse is within bounds, and for whatever reason, and oh, you know what? I know why. So in here, you just want to make sure that you just say A is greater than 0. Oh, it doesn't need those parentheses. And then you just move this over here. So you want to make sure there's actually a color in it to be able to change the avatar. Otherwise, we're gonna have that black transparent pants that we had earlier. So you just want to make sure there's an alpha, there's a color being selected, so that we can change it to it. Yeah, that's basically what I'm doing. I actually didn't go over exactly how I'm doing the color picker thing. It's not that difficult. And all it's basically doing is converting the mouse position into a texture coordinates, right? And then when using those texture coordinates, you can find out where exactly you're clicking on in the texture, and you're able to get the color out of that. And that's basically all this is doing. Probably likely probably should be doing this in a different function. Moving this over to its own function. I think it should be fine in here. There's nothing else that's going to be happening in this class other than this avatar creation process thing. So let me move this over. I don't like this being under the dictionary since I'm going to be, if anything, no, it can't be. Never mind. I'm tripping. I am tripping. All right. So now that we have that, I'd love to be able to set this correctly here. So what we can do is start initializing these things correctly. So, or at least to somewhere here by default. Move this over a little bit to the left. I don't think we can hide this right now, but I can move it over as much as I can. And then we can try having that, all the stuff that we need in here. So by default, we're gonna have a head color. Since the head doesn't have different varieties of it, it's always gonna be one. So this is gonna have some type of color in here. Whatever color is what you're gonna be choosing by default. I'm probably gonna figure out a color. Whatever that's gonna be. You then have hand color, which technically should be the same as the head, because the head and the hands are basically the same skin, right? They're all the same skin. But right now, with my current implementation, you're able to have different colors for your head skin and for the hand skin, which I don't know. You know what? I'll give you guys the selection if you guys want to use the same colors for both or not. As a user, so but that's just what it is right now. Same thing for the eyes. There aren't any other different varieties or types of eyes that I would like to have at the moment, so that's just going to be just one thing. And then we have the hair, which is what we mentioned earlier, and in here we're gonna have the type, and this is gonna have some type of, like, you know what, I could probably just say default. I'll use the default and use that to determine for now. Or maybe color default. I gotta figure out for the colors, but for type, for sure it can be that. And then we for sure gonna have something here as well. And since we're naming everything to default, that's what I'm gonna name it for now. So we do the same thing for the hair. We can do the same thing for the top, but by top I mean shirt. We then got pants, shoes, and facial hair. And these, like the hair, shirt, pants, shoes, they all correlate to this array that we created earlier. Right? I'm wondering if I should have, I think that will probably make it easier. I think it's gonna, the eyes, since it's only this eye color, it's not gonna match up with what I put down here. So I may end up doing that actually. Let's do that. But they all just match up the same way. So we got eye color, which is just be the eye. Did I say eyes? Yes, eyes. So we're just gonna do that. I put hands, but it's supposed to be arms. And then the head. So they all just match up. I don't have to do any special coding for this. Just for those three. Cool. So that's gonna be what it's gonna be looking like at the beginning. We can save that. But yeah, I think we can try and see how this is gonna look like, if it's gonna work. And then we can see our save file and see if it's actually in there. Yeah. I think we can do that. All right. Alright, so let's try it. I didn't know, I forgot that my game was running. Well, let's run it. Let me hydrate real quick. You're gonna be paying attention to the logs after I set up this guy. Another thing we had to set up is also the if it's gonna be female on the different parts as well. So, but for now, I'll just leave it as is. I'll just, ooh, this did not work. We got color index of -1. I thought we set it by default 0. Interesting, interesting. Was there an error before and I did not see? Why wasn't it set to 0? Is it even going in here? Let's see, avatar 3 editor ready. I want to see if it's actually going in here. I clear that. Let's run it again. It should be set by 2. I mean 0 by default. All right, so there's not. Oh yeah, it's calling it right here. Avatar creator ready. Go to new. Unless. I mean, I can set it to 0. It's not a big deal though. If I automatically just set it to 0. But it is being called. Setting this to 0, which then I'll also set the part index to be 0. Don't know why it starts initially by -1. It might be, it's kind of dumb if it calls this first and then sets up this. Or maybe there's something I don't know about that I need to do, but by default I'll just set it up to 0 since that's what I'm defaulting to anyway. Or another thing I can do is just set this to -1, but I don't know, it's very weird that that's how it's working right now. Or maybe because I set it up this way, you'll call this. Yeah, I'm still new to GD script, so I don't know. I'm wondering if it's calling the ready function and then sets the function afterwards. Like for this boolean, if I didn't write anything in here, then it will not change later on. But if I do set it, even though I'll do set an initial value to it, and I set it that to true in here, and then it will default back to false because I set it up this way. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. But anybody that's watching this later, feel free to let me know. I'd love to know why it's doing that. Anyway, I can remove that print error, but I gotta play Zelda, man. I gotta finish the second one. All right, let's go into new. No, it's still. Wait, it was 0. Or maybe it doesn't know what this is yet. Wait, hold on. So 0. Oh yeah, there's no body in it, huh? That is true. Wait, hold on. That is true. I'm not using body right now, so I actually don't need this. But good to know that we don't. Good to know that this is 0 now. So it's not -1 like it was before. Or was I tripping? Am I tripping? Did I not read that correctly? Maybe that's what it was doing initially. You know, let's set it to -1. I'd like to see. Maybe it was that and I read that wrong. I read the error log wrong. Because it was weird. It probably ended up working this time, so Yeah, that's what it was. I read it wrong. I read that wrong. I read that wrong. All right, cool. So now that is working, we can then go in here, change it to whatever color. Same thing for the shoes, the arms, shirts. I think for the shirt though, as you know, this is like a really bright shirt. I may need to lower the initial black and white of this so that the actual blue comes in a little bit better. Because right now this looks super dark and you can barely tell that's something in there. So I may have to lower the color on this one a little bit. We got the head, so whatever color you want to have on the head, the skin. We got the hair color. We got the eye color. Let's see, his blue eyes. And this guy doesn't have any facial hair and it crashed on me. Yeah, see, that's what I read first. I saw -1 here instead of reading the one below it. So that's why I got confused. But so this is 7. Zero, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's only. All right. I find that very weird why it crashed on me on the last one. Let's look into the avatar creation real quick and see how that's looking right now. The bottom, so it should be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Why did I go to 7 actually? Oh, you know what? I know why. I know why. I forgot where I set up my initial. Where's my drop down located here? I think I have the index wrong here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hair ratio. Got pants is 0, 1 for shoe, 3 for arms, 0, 1, 2, 3 for shirt, which is next, 4 for head, 5 for the hair color, 6 for eye color, 7. Oh, I did not mean to do that. So as of right now, we got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Makes sense how I set it up here. Oh, you know what? I forgot the hair. That's what happened here. We got shirt, and then we got the. Oh no, I'm doing it fine. We got head, and then the hair colors after. Interesting. I feel like I'm tripping somehow. I wonder if the array starts at 1. No wait, should it start at 1? I know, like I think it's in Python, right? The array starts at 1. So in the index, right? So instead of being 0, it starts at 1. But would that still be an error here? I don't think so. I feel like I'm tripping here. got pants, which is 0, right? We got 1, 2, 3 for the shirts, 4 for the head, which that matches up correctly, 5 for the hair, 6 for the eyes, 7 for the face. But why was my index at 7? Let's look at that code real quick. So how does it set the index? It sets right at this index. Yeah, but it should be... Yeah, I start at 0 for the pants. So right now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 elements here, so why didn't it go through? Did I misspell something? That's why it doesn't work? Ah, yes, I did. Darn it. Oh, I thought I had missing the index or something, but this should work now. Ay, ay, ay. Misspelling. I do not want to load. I want to create a new avatar. We should be working this time. Alright, so we change the pants color to whatever it's going to be. Shoe color. Arms. Shirt. Head color. Hair. Make that green. Blue eyes and facial hair, even though I don't have any facial hair at the moment, but we can do that. We're gonna call it test world. I don't need to put any seed into it. If I don't put any seed, it will randomly create one for me, and then we'll play it and then crash, of course. Doesn't have a line edit name. Why does it say null? Did I change the name of these? I think this might have changed since I added my avatar creation to this. So we got canvas, new game panel. Yeah, it did change. Got it. So we have this line name here. And then we have the world name as well. Well, I'll fix it in a bit. Alright. So, got the edit name. I can just delete the top two, I guess. Alright. Alright, sure worked this time. For the third time. Third time's the charm, right? Third time is the charm. Let's go to new game. Change the colors. Shoes. Arms. Shirt color. Get that. That. I actually like that. Not bad. Let's go with. Oh, cool. Now I haven't tested it, but now I'm not able to select anything outside. Let's see. And well, shoes. You know, let's use red eyes. No facial hair. We'll set it up as test world for testing. I'll be deleting this afterwards. After testing it. Then we press play, and I guess it did not. Of course, I gotta do it for the seed as well, man. That's what I'm talking about. Anything else that I miss? Anything else I missed? Animation player. It's there. Day night cycle should be there. Button load games. It's under B-box. Hold on. Canvas layer. Load games. Yep, it's right there. UI. That's just a preload. UI load save container. That's under load game. Load game panel, and I didn't touch this one at all, so that should be fine. Avatar creation, I just added that. Now let's move this up. Everything down below is something that just got updated or edited. Okay. Alright, I guess third time this shot did not work for me this time. Alright, let's try that. Try this one last time. Oh, hopefully it won't. Hopefully it's not no more, right? Let's go blue arm, shirt. Green is fine. The green guy. Purple head, color, blue, eye. Let's do that color, facial hair, and then we play. I guess nothing happened. Oh, because I didn't have anything here. Test world. There we go. Let's check this out real quick. Whew, a different world. Here we go. We got shoes. Nice. Now we can get that color over here. Cool. So anything that has default, that means it stayed the same. And I'm not gonna touch it. We got arms, default color. Default, and then we have color, which is this. Nice. That's awesome. That actually worked. And now that I have that working, we need to be able to use that within the game and see if we can see it. So that's the next thing we want to do, is to load those parts from the save file. And then when I load my character, question is how I want to set it up that way. Excuse me. Let's see. How I want to handle this. I think I would like to create. Let's create another class in here, which is going to be my manager, and that's going to be a global. I can access it at any time. What was the other one that I created? The avatar. The UI? Yeah, it's on the UI. I guess that makes sense. Alright, well, we'll create a new one here. We'll create a script. We'll call it Avatar Manager. That looks good to me. We'll create it. I was hoping it was going to open up, and it did not. And in here, the main things I would like for this to do is let's see, load, which will pass in. Oh, is that an actual Godot function? Let's call it just load data. And inside here we'll pass in the save object or dictionary. For now we'll pass it in the entire thing. We may end up just passing the actual object itself later. We just want to make it work first, and we'll go from there. For now I'm just gonna do a pass on that. And then Same thing here. It's gonna be save, and we'll return the dictionary that we created in here. Wait, what am I doing here? Wait, is this an actual return type? Can you do that? You cannot do that. Oh, I guess I gotta return no or something. Or can I have a return type here, or am I not able to do that? Oh, you know what? Because I have two of these. I think it's one of these. I don't know which one is it. I mean, touching too many scripting objects. Too many languages. I mean, indent and class body. Yeah, you know what? I'll figure it out later. But I definitely want to return something here. Or maybe I don't have to have a definition for a function, a return type. Okay. What happens when you touch so many languages? Okay. Or just leave it like that. So in the load data, if we go back to the splash screen, in here, this is where it loads the entire game, save data. So, not the save, but I want the load. Where's this load function? It should be somewhere. Or maybe I never had it here. Hold on. I need some type of wherever I'm setting the load. But I don't know if I actually have one in here or I don't. Okay, so it may not be here then. It will be in Game Manager then. This Game Manager exists at all times. Let's go to my Game Manager. It should be in there. Another thing I can do, since that way my classes can have it already, I can grab my scripts and add it into here. I don't have to deal with it later. We got Avatar Manager, great, and we'll add it. So now I have access to that. And we are in Game Manager now. Sure to have, oh, there we go. So each scene has its own load. Problem here is that let's do it. I'm trying to figure out how I want to handle this. I notice I have an emit signal here. My initial thought was just to pass in the Avatar Manager here and call load. There's not a problem either. What is this doing? Oh, this just get the. Oh, I can do that too. I can do that too. It's not a problem. Or I can pass in that. No, easy. Whichever is easier. Avatar Manager. Load. All it load data. And in here, I can just pass in the data if I want. go in here, and now we have that save data. And in here, what I want to do is to be able to grab that user object. So bar user data. There's a dictionary already, and we'll pass in user data. And inside user data, we have avatar information, which is avatar data dictionary, and we'll pass in user data avatar. And also right now, I gotta make sure that this has avatar data here, because my initial development world does not have this, so it will create an error for me, and it's gonna crash because it doesn't have avatar data. So the other worlds that I created previously won't work if I don't do this. I may have to manually add it later down the line, but I can avoid it, but for now I'll just leave it like that. So now let's print this error here and see if we actually see it. Let's print out that data and see. Avatar. Print that avatar data in here. Let's save all. Alright, let's run it. And we should see that log down there. You know what? Did I delete the other one? Ooh, he crashed right away. So I gotta keep track of this. So, yeah. Alright. Alright, bro. Alright. Which makes sense because at the beginning when we're loading, since we haven't picked what loading save file we're doing, it doesn't know what it is. So it's empty initially. So I'll leave that, making sure it's not empty, or at least we have a user data object in it. Other thing I was thinking about was splash screen, even though we're never gonna see it again. I don't know if I removed the log from here. Did we remove the log? No, we did not. So I don't want to see that entire thing anymore. Alright, so let's run it. And we should be seeing the log down here of that save file. And if that is working, then it's great. That's what I want. So we have load. Yeah, we gotta have load. So we have this test world, which I should have passed the name on it. I remember passing test. That's a bug that I gotta look into. So we go to test world. I should be seeing that big log data of avatar. If not, then something going on. So let's print out that save data and see if it's what's going on there. Since we're not seeing it, let's see this. Yeah, we're not seeing it. So it's either not going in there, or I misspelled something, or it doesn't have it yet, or something's going on. I may have to get the global of user data instead. I think that's what I need to do. So set global. I may need to be able to grab it that way because I may not know it right away. Or should it? Or should it? I guess one way to find out is just to log that bad boy. Let's log that bad boy on top and see. That's error. Save data. Let's run it again. Let's see if we can see something. Let's clear that out. We're going here, not new game. and we want to load into it. Oh, it does have user data, but it doesn't have the actual information of the world seed. Interesting. Hold on, let me go into my actual save data. See if it's there. Let's go to Godot, app user data, Edenville, save games. And should be the one that I created today. Ah, interesting. See that? It was not added into here. Even though we created it, it's not in here. Alright, let's figure out why it didn't save. I should have saved in here, because that's where my user data located at. Interesting. Why it didn't save? Let's figure it out. That's where we're going. Splash screen, right? So why didn't you save, even though I gave you the option down here? That's an avatar to create it for me. Not even an avatar object got created. Crazy. Interesting. But we saw it, right? We printed it out and it was there. I swear we saw that log. We printed it out and it was there. So why didn't it actually save? I'm just seeing my other ones in here. Yeah. Am I tripping? I swear we saw that avatar user data here and we save it. Unless it got replaced or something. Where user data get replaced later on the line. Alright, let's try it one more time. Let's see what's up. Let's try creating another one. That's very interesting. I swear I saw that log. Get a new one. I'll just set it to whatever. So I just want to see if it's actually working. I'll just leave it like that because I gotta do something here. Test. I'll leave it like that. See, it's right here. But then again, once it is not being saved, it's not there though afterwards. That is a very interesting thing, even though we printed it out there. That is very interesting. Got this and then we save it. That is a very interesting thing to deal with. Oh, you know why? I mean, maybe? I think I may know why. Maybe. Go back to avatar or creator real quick. That should be fine. Even if we set this to something else, it'll work out fine. Never mind, I don't have it. It's weird that it's here. which is where we print it out and then saves it afterwards. But then when we go in there, this user data doesn't have the player name. It has no inventory items, so nothing is being saved correctly. And then we have world data. This world data is something else, so we don't have to worry about that. But the user data is right here, right? It is that small thing, and then it printed out this entire thing before he saved it, and once we save it, it only prints this out once you're in game. This is a different bug that I've never seen before. So what happened as to why this did not work? Unless we're setting user data somewhere else. Let's look at the code, because my code also calls save, and maybe because of that in game manager I believe it calls save as well. Where's the save function at? Let's look it up. Load save. Oh, on save data in here. Ah, there it is. We do replace it afterwards. Hold on. Okay, so we do replace it afterwards. That's what's happening. And it's only calling it if they peak. Yeah, that's what's happening right now. All right, so that is what's happening. It's getting replaced. So in here, we call this to save data. We any reason why we're not doing it in here? I mean, this is just for initial splash screen, right? So this will call save data from game manager. Let's look at game manager real quick. The game manager is saving data. We'll call it here to save it. We got world data here. That's the world data. And question is this additional save data to emit. This gets initialized by that thing that I just called. It connects it, which passes in that function, calls this, right? So that's what it's doing here when it emits that function. And at this point, we're passing the data. I'm wondering if this emit data is a void function. What if this emit function? Oh yeah, because this returns nothing, right? It's just a signal, but doesn't return anything on a splash screen. It doesn't return anything. So I don't know if the values inside this data will update accordingly if I were to do it, if I were to return something here. I may have to change the way that I load my data here, or save data. I mean, not this one, actually save. It does call return though. I just don't know. You know what way to find out is to try it. We'll have to try it one more time and see if it actually prints it out after calling here, and then calls it on save data to save it. But the problem is it calls this save data here, which then calls it my C++ class to save that data, and then here I replace it anyway. So the problem is this thing here that is getting replaced. I'm wondering if there's another way that I can do to, or I just retrieve the data from here by default, because it may not even have anything. I use that safe dictionary. Trying to figure out what is the best option here. What would be the best option here? What will be let's save it afterwards. That ends up being my save data of this area here. Another thing I can do, yeah, what if we call this backwards then? For my C++ will get my save data. I will initialize it, my save data for that, and this will go to my splash screen. And instead of creating like a new user object in here, I can retrieve it. I can retrieve this data. So let's do two things here. All right, so let's do this. I don't want to replace anything that's inside of it. So what we can do is say, hey, if this data has a user object, the user data, we'll set the current user data that I have in here. What did I name it? User. We'll save or retrieve it initially from there and do that. Else, we'll do whatever we're doing here. Though this is only happening at the beginning though. But because we're switching it around, wouldn't matter for splash screen, because splash screen will never save it ever again, since this is the first time of me doing it. This function will only be called once, and it will never be called afterwards. So So that's why I'm kind of debating if this would change anything. Yeah, I don't think this is the problem here. This is not the problemo that I am encountering right now. Or maybe it is, I don't know. I would DaVinci if player money, you know, yeah, let's just do what I was thinking of doing it before we change what I was thinking of doing. Hold on 1 second. I'll clean up all this stuff in a bit. Let me get some stuff sorted correctly here. So by default, we're counting the C++ first, right? It will initialize my user save data by this class, and it does have my inventory, my money, and my health, right? So inventory, money, health already has it. So but I do need this to be initialized. I guess we can. I think since this is the first time, I think it's fine if it just replaces the entire thing. Like, it's not a big deal. Since this is the first time this is doing it. And this will be a dictionary. I just doesn't need that in there. So if we grab it first, we'll grab it from here. And I don't think I need to have an else here actually. What I need for this to do, now that I cleaned that up, I can see it better. This is the first time this is being called. I think what I need to do in here is just to double check that my player name is set correctly. Right, so this is going to be set. We can use the line edit name, and you can pass in the text. We're going to be doing this all for all of them. We use the money. I call it if here, but the problem is that this is always going to have something in it. So I technically don't even need an if there. And we can do the same thing for the health. Right, health. And then we call inventory, which is how we set it up in here. This is how my inventory is going to be initialized. So let's do that. So here we call inventory. Instead of that, it'll be that. So it doesn't even need that. Right. So I set up my health, my inventory, and then comes the avatar, which is the next thing that I want to use here. So we'll call in avatar, and we'll set it to this. Right? I mean, come in here, we'll make sure this is lined up correctly. Alright. It should work now, I think. Hold on, let's just run it through first, right? So when we call save, it's gonna go into it goes to the game manager first, and here. So let's go into my game manager. Let's run it through. Right. It says, hey, I'm saving it. It says this is the first function that's gonna get called when you save. So this is gonna be this. So we'll see, it will grab my world data if there's any. I will grab my time and set the world time to the current time, to whatever it's at. Because in my game, you know, there's time that's going to increment over time. So this is just updating that time. And then I update the world data. Sorry, let me mute my phone. We'll update the world data. And then we'll call my C++ class. So let's go into C++ real quick. We will then initialize everything that's in here, the player information. Actually, debating if I'm actually going to be needing this, or should I be putting this inside user data? Good question, but that's something for later. So in saving the player information, this position in the world, we go to the current scene. We grab the current scene because each scene will have its own user data or save data, right? So in the outer world or in the dungeon. So this is what it's doing. It's grabbing the current scene and saving any tiles that are either, if you're farming, any till tiles, any tiles that have fruits in it or veggies or whatever you're growing. I get the world data of the world items. So any items that are laid out in the world that you dropped, or when you chopping down trees and there's wood just in the world that are not in your inventory, so it keeps track of that. Any other unique items, and then it saves my user data. So this is my initial user data that I have in here, which is just saves my inventory for any inventory that I have initially, money and health. It saves it to this object and returns it. So and then it goes back into Godot, a game manager, GD script, and it will emit this function. And this function is only initializes the first time, which is when you're creating the when you're creating the world, right? For the first time, you're creating a new save file. So then we'll call this emit, which then goes into my splash screen. I get the world seed if it's not there already. I get the world data, world name. I'm actually debating. Actually, at the beginning, since this is only being called once, I don't think this matters. But it may be a possibility that might be an issue. If I initially have stuff that I want to lay down in the ground, this may end up replacing that, and I may need to do the same thing that I'm doing here. So just a thought that I may need to do that in here. Just a thought. So that's world data. And then we have user data that we grab it from the user data that I have already. Since it already has it, it has all the information from C++ and all of that. I then come in and save my information, and that's it. I think it should be good to go. All right, let's do save all scenes, and let's try it one more time. Hopefully one more time. And let's restart the game. I have to create a new game now because of that. Or just color anything out what I want. I just want to make sure. I don't want to spend too much time on trying to get the perfect thing. So test. Let's do test 3. Test. Well, just leave it like that. All right. So we come here. We have the inventory. Comes in again. And it has all that information. Let's go. Alright, so we printed it a couple times because that's all we did. So the splash screen, hold on, can I move this up? Yeah. So the splash screen, this is what it did right before we saved it. We printed out a log, right? So that's what it is. It looks like it's there. And then in my avatar manager, I printed it twice. So that's what this is. This is the entire user data again. And then I just printed in my avatar. Let's go. I do have a thing that I'm have to look out for. Is why is this smaller? Oh, because this one actually has user data in it, and this one just has inventory. Got it. Got it. That makes sense. Cool. All right. Cool. So now we have the information that we need. Whew, that was trying to think over and going back to my save data since I haven't looked at that for a long time. But looks like I got that back on track. Let's remove some of those logs because I don't want to see it again. So this is for my splash screen. I don't need you no more. And my avatar manager, since we printed it twice like we said earlier. So now I have my avatar information here. Now that I have it, I think the best thing I can do, I probably should. So question that I have here. Could this avatar data contain all that avatar information for all of them, NPCs or any users? I initially thought this was just going to be for user, but now that I'm thinking about it, I don't want to create another data object outside of avatar data that would be for NPC avatar data, when technically it's the same thing, right? So inside of here instead, what I can do is have avatar data and then have another object in there that will be the player, and then we'll have all the other stuff in there for all the other NPCs outside the player object. I think that'll probably be the best. So I might have messed up my previous save file. That's not gonna work no more. I think that'll probably be the best option to go with what I'm doing right now. Yeah. All right, let's go back then to the splash screen then. So what I'm talking about, so we have this avatar data, right? And inside of this avatar data, since this is the first time we're creating this, there's not going to be any, should there be NPCs here? I may need to pass in the NPCs in here as well, so I don't have to look for it later. So I was thinking that player will be here, and this is going to have this here, and then all the other NPCs will have, depending the ID of the NPC, right? NPC underscore, and then the ID, whatever that ends up being, will be set. But debating if I want to have it in here, or should I have it outside somewhere when I load the game? I think it'll be better off having an avatar manager. So we just leave it like that, avatar, because I don't think we should have in the save file, in our own save file every single time. I want that to be created elsewhere. Yeah, I think in my data, in my database, I think that'll be better. So here we got player, and then in my avatar manager, oh no, not manager, here, instead of doing here, I got my avatar data, and then I should be able to grab my player avatar data in here, which ends up being just player. So now I have that, and I can save it. So I want to have avatar. Oh, basically that's the one I want to have in here. Just call it avatar data with the dictionary. I can just set it to this, and that's all I need. As of right now, since I'm just loading the game, I don't need the player information yet. Yes, so that's what I can do We'll worry about NPCs after. So this is the avatar data. Now that we have this, we gotta figure out how we gonna be setting the color to the player and where exactly I'm gonna be creating that in. Did that happen in Game Manager when I spawn the player? I think that's the best option, when I spawn the player, right? I think it's happening in the GD script, or is it happening in C++? Let's find out. Let's find out. Let's go back to Game Manager. And let's see. I'm pretty sure I created in C++. And I may need to... Got initial load. You got load level. So every time you load the level in here, if the player is null for the first time, then we try to find it. And technically we can do it here. It shouldn't be a problem. It wouldn't be a problem if I were to create it in here. Because after that, the player is always alive, no matter what transitions I'm in. If I transition to the house, to the dungeons, any other transitions, the player is always alive. I never destroy it. This will only be null the first time when I'm initializing the player, and that is while it's loading the game at the beginning. And I don't see, and I can see that probably be the best place to put it in here. So I can do it like player. I don't have the function yet, but that would be initialize avatar, right? And I don't want to have a dependency to my avatar manager here, so I'm gonna have to just pass in like avatar manager, avatar data, and we'll pass in the player in here, right? I don't have this function, but I would like to. Oops. What am I doing here, bro? Oh yeah, because I don't have that function. Duh, I just said it. So there's two things. We have NPCs that inherit from base character, and we have player. I don't want to create two different functions because they all inherit from the same thing, I believe. Yeah, base character. So we can go to base character, and in here we can create. Let's do it on top actually. Let's say initialize avatar, and we pass in the avatar data in here. It will pass. So now where I was at before, here I should have a function for it now. I'll save all scenes. Eventually I should have this function. I mean, unless I misspelled it in some way. So yeah, so we have that. What we can do is do a console log here. Just make sure it's actually being called. And just call it initialize avatar. It should only be called once when I load my player. Alright, so let's try it out. Hopefully it doesn't crash. Or another thing we can do, we'll have a print error. We pass in the avatar manager in it. Let's see if we have any information in it. Yeah, that's what we can do. Let's try that out. What time is it? Woo! Time flies. Time flies, guys. Alright, so let's load the game. We have a couple of testing here. I gotta delete some. So we got that. Ooh, crash. Okay, so it doesn't know what this is, I guess. Invalidate access to property or key player on base object of type dictionary. Oh, I see the problemo. So I should do a call then, because I got a player which is in my C++ class name, and then I have a player character which is in GD script. And it's trying to figure that out right now. Why don't I just use player character in here? Is there a reason why? Is there a reason why I don't use player character in here? I'm trying to think about it. Why? I should use it and then fix anything else that comes along with it. I don't see it being a problem. Where's the... trying to look for the camera here. Set follower. I think the set follower is just a node, yeah. If that is the only place I'm using it, it's just these. I don't know. Yeah, let's do player character then. I don't see this being a problem. I'm not just gonna cry down here because it doesn't know about it. Right. I am debating if that's gonna cause issues or not. Let's see player. Let's go into player character. It shouldn't. It shouldn't be a problem. Leave all scenes. We'll figure it out. We'll be testing it. Find out if it's a problem. Nope, that's still a problem. But it does know about it. Unless this is empty for whatever reason. Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of. That is empty again. Let's print it out again one last time, making sure. Oh, you know why? Because we changed this to that player, right? There's no player in here anymore. You know what? I just want to test it to see if it actually works. I think that's the problem in here. I have to create another character that has the player in it because we just added that. But I just want to see if it works. If it passes in those values that I want. Okay, there we go. Let's go. Sweet. That's working. Let me delete the other files that I don't need. Let me double check I actually deleted the right ones. Yep, that's all the colors, facial hair colors in here. That is great. So I just delete the other ones. I don't want to see it in there. I just delete these two. Actually, you know what? Delete all of them because the other one is wrong too. I'll just leave my initial two that I had initially. So I'll delete the other one. So now she'll only have two save files. So let's revert that back to player. And let's see if it actually ends up working this time. I'll create a new save file. can go through there. New file. Call it test this time. Test world. We'll change whatever pants color. Sure, we're just testing. Make sure everything is working like it should. We do a shirt color. Let's do green because it's the only one that looks good right now. And the shoes. There we go. This is how my character is gonna look like. Alright, press play. Cool. Now we see you actually ended up going in there. Initialize avatar and passes in those values. Let's go. Alright, so now that I have those values, I need to be able to now set the color of the parts of the body. But one thing to keep in mind, I can't just drag the items in here just because the player and the NPCs are different objects, so I can't do that. Or can I? If they're the same layout, does player get it set up in there? Let me see. Hold on. That's a good point. Let's do this layout and see if it actually. No, it just calls layout. I might be able to do it. Ooh. Interesting. Cool. Alright. Oh, it's right there on top. Ooh. Okay. I get the children and it replaces. Yeah, that's actually works out. Maybe what I'm thinking of right now. Alright, well anyway, so we'll see how that works. I think that's where I'm gonna call it. I can't believe time just flew by so quickly right now, but we got some stuff done here. We ended up, saving the information to the save file, which there were some issues that I needed to fix due to the user data being replaced in the C++ classes. So I fixed that issue, and now I'm able to save. I'm able to retrieve it as well from the save data, and now I only need to be able to use it now, right? To be able to use it and update my sprite sheets or my sprites for the colors that it needs to be at. But cool, I think that's where I'm gonna leave it at, guys. I'd love to keep going, but I got some stuff to do today. I initially said that I was going to be streaming every Mondays, but I may end up changing that to Saturdays instead, just because that actually ends up working a little bit better for me at the moment. Some things came up and I am unsure if I'm able to do Mondays anymore, but I'll keep you guys updated. So let's change it so it could be Saturdays instead. Saturdays morning. I think that will work out a lot better. But cool. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream, or you enjoyed this video if you're watching this in the future, and I hope you guys have a great day, a wonderful day, or a wonderful night depending on your time, and I'll talk to you guys later. See you guys. Signing out.